Good morning. Sorry, had a little trouble getting going today. Welcome. We hope everybody is okay this morning, made it through the horrible last week okay, and maybe you're in a position now to be able to help other people. Amplify Austin is coming up next week. It's next Thursday and Friday. The Umlauf would love help, but we would also encourage you to help any organization that you are able to. Today we are in the middle of Lent, and I wanted to talk about two Umlauf sculptures. So let's take a look, and I'll give you the story. It's going to be kind of a fun, intense one. This is Charles Umlauf's Crucifixion in honor of Lent, but also just in honor of creativity and survival this week. This is the Crucifixion that was made in 1946. The full-size version is at the McNay Art Museum it's actually at the Shrine of St. Anthony de Padua in San Antonio. And it looks a lot like this. It's 10 feet tall. But I wanted to talk about this piece here. Let's climb up on the ladder a little bit to look at it more closely. So this is Umlauf's Crucifixion that he made for Marion Kugler McNay. She had studied at the Art Institute of Chicago like Umlauf did, and probably helped him get his job in Texas. She commissioned this from him and actually installed it in 1947 at the graveside of Father Baquet at the Shrine of St. Anthony de Padua, the full-size version. This is the scale model. So you'll see that it is actually made out of aluminum, a very unusual material for art in the day, but it was trendy to use it, and Umlauf was trying it. You'll see we have the typical Umlauf upturned face, and I wanted to make sure you could see that the spikes that hold Christ to the cross, you can see them through the back. So when you come to the Umlauf, be sure to catch that detail. This was also cast at Roman Bronze Works in New York. This is before Umlauf discovered the ability to cast in Italy. And it's a wonderful piece. And this is the final commission that Mrs. McNay, of course, of the McNay Art Museum in San Antonio, this is the final piece that she got from him. But here's the interesting story. This is not what Umlauf first gave her. The piece that Umlauf first gave her is dramatically different. And when Mrs. McNay saw it, she said, "Nope, let me get a different one." And this is the final version that Umlauf gave her. I think of this crucifixion as much more heroic. It doesn't look quite so beat up or rough, and I think she felt that it was more appropriate for the sisters at the Lay Society for whom she had it made. And what I want to do today, if you'll bear with me, let's go and look at the one. We're going to run a little bit because I know you're all with me here, and it's a little bit far, but come with me up to the Umlauf house. At the private home and studio, which eventually will be open to the public, we actually have the other version. And so what I'm doing is showing them to you in reverse chronological order. I just showed you the one that Charles Umlauf made successfully for Mrs. McNay, but I want to show you the one that she declined. And think about that. Umlauf had come to Austin in 1941 from Chicago. He's trying to make his name, trying to make a lot of commissions. Sorry if I'm breathing, it's not because I'm out of shape, it's because I'm climbing a lot of steps. So he's trying to make his reputation. And the first major commission that he gets is from Mrs. McNay. By the way, we're looking back down at the garden from the home and studio. So he's very excited to have this commission from Mrs. McNay, and it must have been absolutely heartbreaking for her to say, "I'm sorry, you didn't do it right." And this happens a lot to artists. It actually happened to Umlauf more than once, and we're going to do a future exhibition about that. So let's keep moving along, and I'll show you the 1945 crucifixion that he first presented her, and when he gave it to her, it was completely in bronze, so he'd already finished it, he'd already put money into it, and she said, So let's look at how it's different. Here it is. This is what Umlauf gave to Mrs. McNay. And she said, it's marvelous, absolutely marvelous, but I think it's a little bit too intense for the sisters. And look at how different it is from the one in the garden. First of all, it's made out of bronze, not aluminum, but the body is completely broken, racked. These arms, I have pointed out before, are more in keeping with the thieves on Calvary who were crucified with Christ, and more in a medieval style. And if you look at the huge size of the hands, and then look behind, and again, there's those spikes. We welcome you to come to the Umlauf, get in touch with me, and we'll show this to you in person on a private tour sometime. Again, this is not open to the public, but look at this back here too. He has long hair. And it is a spectacular, very moving sculpture, but was rejected. And Umlauf didn't have a lot of money at this time. And so it would have been really hard for him. He went back and at his own expense made the aluminum version that we have in the garden. There's also a scale model at the McNay, and the full-size version is at the Shrine of St. Anthony de Padua in San Antonio. We'd love to take you there on a field trip. But it must have been really difficult for him and financially difficult. But what he did with this was he actually entered it in an exhibition at the Whitney. It got discussed in the New York Times, and then he entered it in a competition in Texas, and he won first place in the 12th annual painting and sculpture competition that went to 3 different cities in 1950, 1951. So there we have the story of a failed commission made good. Please remember to support us during Amplify Austin. Reach out if you have any questions, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.